Darth, Theorist, rise.
What if Anakin Skywalker trusted Obi-Wan and told him Padme was pregnant? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. The Coruscant skyline stretches endlessly beyond the temple's meditation chambers. Several days have passed since the rescue of Chancellor Palpatine, since Count Dooku's death aboard the Invisible Hand, but Anakin Skywalker finds no peace in their victory. He sits cross-legged on the cold stone floor, his breathing unsteady, sweat beading on his forehead despite the chamber's cool air. The nightmare had been worse this time, more vivid, more real. Padme's face twisted in agony, her hand reaching for him as the life drained from her eyes, the sound of her final breath echoing in his mind like a death knell. And always the terrible certainty that he could have saved her if only he'd been strong enough. The door slides open with a soft hiss. Obi-Wan steps through, his robes rustling against the floor as he approaches his former Padawan. Even in the dim light, concern etches lines across his weathered face.
The third time this week, Anakin. Meditation isn't helping, is it?
They're getting stronger, Master. More detailed.
Anakin's hands clench into fists against his knees, knuckles white with tension. Obi-Wan settles beside him, close enough to offer comfort, but far enough to respect Anakin's space. The silence stretches between them, filled only by the distant hum of speeder traffic far below.
Tell me about them.
Someone I care about. Someone close to me. They die. And I can't stop it.
Someone close to you now? Who, Anakin?
I can't... It doesn't matter.
It matters enough to rob you of sleep. It matters enough to affect your focus during missions.
The visions feel so real, Master. Like they're showing me something that will happen, not something that might happen.
Visions can be deceiving, Anakin. The future is always in motion.
But what if they're not? What if someone dies because I didn't act on what I saw?
You can't save everyone, Anakin. Not even those we love most.
Love?
Yes, these visions are about someone you love.
If I tell you, everything changes. Everything.
Then perhaps it's time for change.
Anakin looks at his former master, really looks at him, and sees not judgment but compassion. In that moment he feels less like the hero with no fear, and more like the frightened boy who Obi-Wan first met on Tatooine.
You'll think differently of me.
Try me.
It's Padme. In my dreams, she dies in childbirth.
Obi-Wan's face goes completely still. The revelation hits him like lightning, illuminating connections he'd never considered. Anakin's protectiveness during their missions to guard her, his distraction whenever her name was mentioned, the way he'd volunteer for every assignment that brought him to Coruscant.
Senator Amidala. Childbirth.
We've been married for 3 years. She's pregnant now, and has been for months. But the war kept us apart, and I couldn't tell anyone because of the code.
Anakin.
The single word stops the flood of confessions. Anakin looks at his master with wide, terrified eyes, waiting for judgment, for anger, for the inevitable betrayal to the code.
How long have you been carrying this burden alone?
Since Geonosis. Since we thought we were going to die and realized life was too short for fear.
Obi-Wan closes his eyes, processing the magnitude of what Anakin has revealed. A secret marriage, a pregnancy, visions of death. Each piece of information rewrites everything he thought he knew about his former Padawan.
These visions, when did they begin?
After we returned from rescuing the Chancellor. Every night since then. They're so real, Master. When I wake up, I can still hear her voice calling my name.
The pain in Anakin's voice cuts deeper than any lightsaber wound. Obi-Wan has seen what fear can do to a Jedi, watched good men fall to darkness because they couldn't release their attachments. But he has also seen what isolation and secrecy accomplish, and the destruction they leave behind.
The visions you had of your mother came true, right?
Every detail. What if these are the same? What if I lose her because I'm not strong enough to save her?
Visions of the future are among the most dangerous aspects of the Force, Anakin. They show us possibilities, not certainties.
But they feel so certain, so inevitable.
Fear has a way of making possibilities feel like prophecies. But you don't have to face this fear alone anymore.
The admission settles between them like a death sentence. Obi-Wan feels the weight of an impossible choice pressing down on his shoulders. Report Anakin's violations and lose him to expulsion from the Order, or keep this secret and risk something far worse. He looks at Anakin and sees a young man drowning in fear and guilt, holding on to secrets that are slowly destroying him from within. The Jedi Code demands one response, but his heart demands another.
Tell me about Padme. How is she handling the pregnancy?
She...
Don't worry, I won't tell the Council.
Master?
You came to me with this burden because you trust me. I won't betray that trust.
Relief floods Anakin's face, but it's quickly replaced by renewed anxiety. The older Jedi places a hand on Anakin's shoulder, feeling the tension in his former apprentice's muscles begin to ease slightly.
She's strong. Stronger than me sometimes. But she's worried, too. About discovery. About what it means for our future.
She sounds like a remarkable woman.
She is. She's everything good that I'm not.
You are a good man, Anakin. A good Jedi. These feelings you have for her... Love isn't evil, despite what some members of the Council might say. I understand more than you think, Anakin. I felt the same way about the Duchess not so long ago.
The words offer Anakin a lifeline he'd never expected. For years, he believed his feelings made him weak, made him less of a Jedi. To hear Obi-Wan acknowledge them as natural feels like absolution.
You'll help me through this?
I'll do everything in my power to help you, but you must promise me something in return.
Anything.
No more secrets between us. If these visions worsen, if you're tempted to seek answers elsewhere, you come to me first.
Thank you, Master. I don't know what I could have done if you'd turned away from me.
We're not out of danger yet, Anakin. The path ahead will be difficult for us both.
As dawn breaks over Coruscant, the two Jedi sit in the growing light, bound now by a secret that could destroy them both. Obi-Wan has chosen compassion over duty, but deep in his heart, he wonders if love and trust will be enough to save Anakin from the darkness he senses gathering around them. Somewhere in the depths of the Senate building, emergency session records note unusual activity in the Jedi Temple's meditation chambers. Data that flows through information networks like water, finding its way to interested parties who collect such details for future use. The die has been cast, and the galaxy's fate now rests on whether the bond between master and former apprentice can withstand the trials to come. The Jedi Council chamber feels different now. Anakin sits in his assigned spot during the morning briefing, but every glance from the Master seems weighted with suspicion. Master Windu's dark eyes linger on him longer than usual. Ki-Adi-Mundi tilts his head as if trying to solve a puzzle. Even Master Yoda's ancient gaze carries a sharpness that makes Anakin's skin crawl. Time has passed since his confession to Obi-Wan, and while the nightmares haven't stopped, having someone who knows his secret has made them bearable. Almost.
Skywalker, your performance in the Outer Rim has been inconsistent.
Anakin straightens, forcing his expression into neutral lines. Beside him, Obi-Wan maintains perfect composure, but Anakin can sense the tension radiating from his former master.
I'm sorry, Master Windu. Could you be more specific? Your reaction times have slowed. Your focus wavers during critical moments. Captain Rex reported you seemed distracted during the assault on Ringo Vinda.
The accusation hits closer to home than Anakin likes. During that battle, he'd frozen for precious seconds when a dying clone trooper reminded him of the medical droid in his visions, the one that would fail to save Padme.
The mission was successful. We achieved all objectives. Success despite distraction is not the same as success through focus.
Clouded your mind has become, young Skywalker. Since this, we do.
The words send ice through Anakin's veins. If they suspected something, if they start investigating.
Masters, if I may, Anakin has been working without rest for months. Perhaps what appears to be distraction is simple fatigue. You would know his condition better than anyone, Master Kenobi. What is your assessment?
The question hangs in the air like a blade. Obi-Wan feels the weight of 13 pairs of eyes on him, waiting for his answers. Beside him, Anakin's breathing becomes slightly more rapid.
Anakin needs rest, time to meditate and center himself. I recommend we reduce his mission load, temporarily.
And yet you've been spending considerable time with him recently. Extended meditation sessions, private conversations. This is unusual for a knight who supposedly needs independence.
Anakin came to me for guidance. As his former master, I felt obligated to provide it.
Guidance about what, specifically?
Dreams. Just visions that trouble his sleep. Nothing more than anxiety manifesting through the Force.
Visions. See anything specific, do you, young Skywalker?
Nothing clear, Master Yoda. Just darkness. Conflict.
Darkness, yes. Around you, growing it is. But visions of what, specifically?
Loss. I see people I care about in danger.
People. You mean fellow Jedi?
Yes, Master.
The lie tastes bitter on his tongue. Across the chamber, he catches Obi-Wan's slight nod of approval, but it does nothing to ease the growing knot in his stomach. The briefing continues, but Anakin barely hears the strategic updates and mission assignments. His mind keeps circling back to the previous night's vision. Padme reaches him as life drains from her eyes, her voice calling his name with her final breath. Later, in the corridor outside the council chambers, Obi-Wan walks beside him, passing other Jedi with distant nods. Obi-Wan stops, turns to face his triple apprentice, and urges caution as Anakin frets over increasingly vivid visions. A protocol droid approaches, bearing an official message cylinder summoning them to the Chancellor's office. Anakin's heart jumped. Palpatine always seems to call when he felt most vulnerable. The Chancellor's office feels warmer than usual when they arrive. Palpatine rises from behind his desk with his charismatic smile, but his eyes focus primarily on Anakin.
Ah, my young friend, Master Kenobi. Thank you for coming so quickly. Of course, Chancellor. How may we serve? Actually, Master Kenobi, I was hoping to speak with Anakin privately. A small matter regarding his next assignment.
Something cold settles in Obi-Wan's stomach. He glances at Anakin, noting the way his former apprentice's posture changes in Palpatine's presence. More relaxed, more trusting.
With respect, Chancellor, as Anakin's former master, I'm sure it won't take long. Perhaps you could wait outside?
The dismissal is polite, but firm. Obi-Wan has no choice but to bow and leave, though every instinct screams at him to stay. Alone with Palpatine, Anakin feels some of the day's tension begin to drain. The Chancellor has always been one of the few people who truly understands him, who doesn't judge his emotions as weakness.
You look troubled, my boy. The weight of leadership, perhaps?
Something like that, Chancellor.
I've noticed you've been spending time with Master Kenobi lately. Private discussions, I believe.
The casual comment makes Anakin stiffen slightly. How does Palpatine know about their conversations?
He's been helping me with some personal matters.
Ah, and these personal matters, they wouldn't happen to involve visions, would they?
Anakin's blood turns to ice. The Chancellor watches his reaction with those penetrating eyes, missing nothing.
You needn't look so surprised, Anakin. You forget how well I know you. The sleepless nights, the distraction during meetings, your suffering from troubling dreams.
How did you...
I've lived long enough to recognize the signs of a gifted mind wrestling with glimpses of the future. Tell me, do these visions involve someone you care about?
The question hits like a physical blow. Anakin stares at the Chancellor, wondering how much he knows, how much he suspects.
I don't know what you mean.
Of course you do. The fear in your eyes, the way you flinch when certain topics arise. You're afraid of losing someone precious to you. The Jedi teach that we must accept loss, embrace it even. But what if I told you there were ways to prevent such tragedies? Ancient knowledge that could save those we love.
The Jedi say such things lead to the dark side.
The Jedi say many things, my young friend, but they couldn't save your mother, could they? Their philosophy of acceptance didn't prevent her suffering.
That was different.
Was it? Or was it simply another example of the Jedi's limitations? Their inability to act when action is needed most?
Outside the office, Obi-Wan paces the antechamber, his unease growing with every passing minute. Something about this meeting feels wrong, but he's powerless to intervene. Inside, Palpatine continues his subtle assault on Anakin's defenses.
I sense great conflict in you, Anakin. Perhaps Master Kenobi means well, but he can truly understand what you're facing. Has he ever loved someone so deeply that their loss would destroy him?
He's trying to help.
I'm sure he is. But help and capability are not the same thing, my boy. You must ask yourself this. When the moment comes, and it will come, will Master Kenobi's wisdom be enough to save the one you love?
The question hangs in the air like poison, seeping into Anakin's thought and taking root there. When the meeting finally ends and he rejoins Obi-Wan in the corridor, his former master immediately senses the change in him.
What did he want?
Anakin is lost in thought. He barely heard what Obi-Wan just said.
Anakin, what did he say?
Nothing important. Just checking on my well-being.
But as they walk back toward the temple, Obi-Wan realizes with growing dread that Palpatine has planted seeds he may not be able to uproot. The Chancellor's words echo in Anakin's mind, undermining everything Obi-Wan has tried to build. And for the first time since learning Anakin's secret, Obi-Wan wonders if compassion and understanding will be enough to save his former apprentice from the darkness calling to him. The days following Palpatine's subtle manipulations settle over the Jedi Temple like a suffocating shroud. Master Windu paces the length of his private quarters, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic surveillance reports scattered across his desk. Something fundamental has shifted in Anakin Skywalker's behavior patterns. The young knight's force signature fluctuates wildly during meditation sessions. His mission performances continues to deteriorate, and most troubling of all, his frequent absences from the temple follow no discernible pattern. Windu's suspicion crystallizes into action when he notices Anakin's recurring visits to the Senate District, always during the night cycles when most Jedi should be in meditation or rest. The decision to place surveillance feels like a violation of trust, but the safety of the Republic outweighs personal considerations. Through contacts in Republic intelligence, he acquires a small monitoring device similar to the Calhouns used in the assassination attempts, capable of entering through ventilation systems and recording conversations with perfect clarity. The device finds its way into Senator Amidala's apartment 3 nights later, nestling silently in their air recycling system, where it can capture every word spoken in the main living area. Mace doesn't wait long. In the pre-dawn hours, a transmission reaches his quarters. Voices carry, Anakin telling Padme about worsening visions, confessing a secret marriage and a pregnancy, and revealing that Obi-Wan knew and promised to help. He also brings up Palpatine mentioning ways to prevent death. The covert device keeps recording. The conversation continues for another hour, revealing the depth of Anakin's desperation and his growing dependence on the Chancellor's counsel. Windu listens with mounting horror as pieces of a larger puzzle begin falling into place. Suddenly, the transmission cuts to static. Through the audio feed, Windu hears the distinctive hum of a lightsaber igniting, followed by the sound of metal components being destroyed.
I know you're listening. I know who sent this.
The transmission ends permanently, leaving Windu alone with the weight of what he's discovered. Within an hour, he's striding through the temple corridors toward the meditation chambers where he knows Anakin will be waiting. He finds the young knight standing before the great window overlooking Coruscant, the destroyed surveillance device scattered in pieces at his feet. Anakin doesn't turn around when the doors slide open.
Master Windu, I was wondering when you'd come to explain yourself. The explanation should come from you, Skywalker. How long have you been violating the Jedi Code? How dare you spy on me? How dare you violate Senator Amidala's privacy? I dare because your behavior has become erratic and dangerous. A secret marriage, Anakin. A pregnant wife. These are not minor infractions. Obi-Wan knows. He's been helping me through this, which makes his complacency even more disturbing. You've both betrayed everything the Jedi Order stands for.
The argument escalates quickly, voices echoing off the chamber walls as years of tension between them finally explodes into open conflict. Anakin's hand moves instinctively towards his lightsaber before catching himself, while Windu's expression grows darker with each defensive word from the young man.
The Jedi Order stands for compassion, Master. Obi-Wan understood that. He chose to help rather than condemn. He chose to enable your descent into attachment and fear. Look at yourself, Anakin. You're consumed by visions, manipulated by politicians, spiraling toward darkness. I'm trying to save the woman I love. You're destroying yourself, and you're taking Master Kenobi down with you.
The conversation is over, but with ambiguity. For now, no one knows what is going to happen. News of General Grievous's death reaches Coruscant 2 days later, along with Obi-Wan's request for immediate transport back to the capital. Windu's message intercepts him during the journey, an encrypted transmission ordering him to return to the temple for an emergency council session. Obi-Wan arrives to find the remaining council members assembled both physically and through holographic projection. Master Yoda's image flickers from Kashyyyk, his ancient eyes heavy with disappointment. Ki-Adi-Mundi and Shaak Ti sit in their designated chairs, while other masters appear as blue phantoms around the circular chamber. The trial begins without ceremony. Windu presents his evidence methodically. The surveillance recordings, documentation of Anakin's frequent absences, and analysis of his deteriorating performance. Each revelation hits like a physical blow, especially for the masters who had defended Anakin's advancement to knighthood. Anakin stands in the center of the chamber, no longer the confident hero with no fear, but a young man whose carefully constructed world has collapsed around him. Beside him, Obi-Wan maintains his composure, though lines of exhaustion and regret carve deep shadows across his weathered face.
Anakin Skywalker has violated the most fundamental principles of our order. attachment, deception, and the willful abandonment of Jedi teachings.
And Master Kenobi, your role in conceiving these violations raises questions about your own judgment. I believed I could guide Anakin through this crisis. I chose compassion over protocol.
Compassion. Admirable it is, but dangerous. When clouded by attachment, it becomes.
The debate continues for hours, with some masters calling for immediate expulsion, while others argue for rehabilitation. Obi-Wan speaks passionately in Anakin's defense, citing his heroism during the Clone Wars, his potential for redemption, and his fundamental goodness beneath the fear and confusion.
The question is not whether Anakin has violated our code. The question is whether he can be trusted to follow it going forward.
Masters, I know I've made mistakes, but everything I've done was to protect innocent life. Isn't that what the Jedi are supposed to do? The Jedi protect all life, not just the lives they personally value. Your attachment has made you selective in your compassion.
After lengthy deliberation, the vote is called. Masters deliberate and cast their votes. Yoda urges wisdom and balance, and abstains. The tally lands. The council decides Anakin must be expelled from the Jedi Order. Obi-Wan protests, but the decision stands. Anakin is ordered to surrender his lightsaber and leave the temple. That night, in the privacy of Padmé's apartment, Anakin paces like a caged animal while she watches with growing alarm. His expulsion from the Order has shattered something fundamental in his psyche, leaving him desperate and unpredictable.
Palpatine says he can fix this. He has the power to make everything right, to protect you and our child from the future I've seen.
Annie, what are you talking about? What kind of power?
I told you, he knows things the Jedi don't. He told me about the ancient knowledge about preventing death, about controlling destiny itself.
Listen to yourself. You're talking about controlling life and death. That's not natural. That's not right.
I can't wait anymore. Every night I see you dying, and now I have nothing left to lose.
Anakin, don't listen to him. I'm not getting a good feeling about him.
No. I know what I have to do. We don't have much time. I'm sick of it.
You're scaring me. What are you going to do?
Don't worry, Padmé. I promise I will fix this. I must speak with him.
He rushes from the apartment before she can stop him, leaving Palpatine alone with her terror and the growing certainty that she's about to lose her husband to something far darker than expulsion from the Jedi Order. With trembling hands, she activates her communicator and sends an urgent message to the one person who might still be able to reach Anakin before it's too late. The transmission finds Obi-Wan in his stripped-bare quarters, preparing to face his own uncertain future outside the Jedi Order. The Chancellor's office feels different in the deep hours of Coruscant's night cycle. Emergency lighting casts long shadows across the ornate walls, while the city's endless traffic streams past the massive windows like rivers of light. Palpatine sits behind his desk, his hands folded with deliberate calm as he studies Anakin's haggard appearance. The man paces before the viewport, his expelled status from the Jedi Order weighing on his shoulders like a physical burden. Everything he's worked for, everything he's believed in, stripped away because he dared to love someone more than the ancient code.
My boy, I'm deeply sorry about the Council's decision. Their rigidity has always been their greatest weakness.
All these years of service, all these years of following their rules, fighting their wars, and they cast me aside the moment I show any human feeling.
And now you face an impossible choice. Return to Senator Amidala and watch helplessly as your visions come to pass, or take action to prevent the tragedy you've foreseen.
You said there are ways to prevent death, ancient knowledge that could save her.
Yes, but I never said I knew one, my boy.
Then why did you mention them? If it were only folklore.
I never said that either.
I beg you, tell me how I can get to it. Who can teach me?
I will tell you. But know this. Such knowledge comes with a price, my young friend. The power to preserve life requires strength to embrace what others fear.
I'll pay any price. Name it.
Palpatine rises from his chair and moves to the window, his reflection ghost-like in the transparisteel. The moment he's been building toward for years has finally arrived.
The Jedi would call it the dark side. They would condemn you for even considering such paths. But what is darkness if it saves the light of your life?
The office door slides open with a soft hiss, interrupting their conversation. Obi-Wan steps through, his face grave with concern and determination. Both men turn toward him, surprised by his sudden appearance.
Anakin, I've been looking for you.
Master, I thought you'd given up on me after the trial.
I'll never give up on you. But Padme is frightened about what you might do. She asked me to find you. Master Kenobi, how good of you to join us. I was just offering young Anakin my support during this difficult time. What kind of support, Chancellor? Merely reminding him that there are always alternatives to despair, that those with true power can shape their own destinies.
The words trigger something in Obi-Wan's memory. Anakin's descriptions of their conversations, Padme's fears about the Chancellor's influence, and the way Palpatine always seemed to appear when Anakin is most vulnerable.
Anakin, what exactly has the Chancellor been teaching you?
He understands what the Jedi refuse to accept, that love is worth fighting for, worth sacrificing for.
And what sacrifice is he asking you to make?
Master Kenobi, I hardly think.
The visions, Anakin. The knowledge about preventing death. Where do you think such power comes from?
How do you know?
Padme told me. She told me everything.
I don't understand what you're implying.
Think, Anakin. The Sith Lord we've been hunting for years, the one pulling the strings behind this war. Who would have access to ancient dark side knowledge? Who would know how to manipulate the Force to prevent death?
Master Kenobi, these accusations are preposterous. I'm merely trying to help a young man in crisis.
No, you're the Sith Lord, Darth Sidious.
That's impossible. Chancellor Palpatine has been like a father to me.
Anakin, don't listen to him. The Jedi have filled his mind with paranoia and suspicion.
Master Windu bursts through the office doors with urgent news. Padme has been hospitalized with stress-induced early labor. The revelation hits Anakin like a physical blow, shattering his focus on accusations and ancient power. Palpatine desperately tries to stop him, offering salvation through dark knowledge. But Obi-Wan's gentle reminder to trust his heart cuts through years of manipulation. Tears stream down his face. Anakin chooses love over power, turning away from Palpatine toward the woman who needs him most.
I choose her. I choose our family.
You fool. You're walking toward the very fate I offered to prevent.
The mask finally slips completely. Palpatine's grandfatherly demeanor evaporates, replaced by cold fury and naked ambition.
Actually, Chancellor, I should thank you for that outburst. You see, while I was monitoring Skywalker's activities, I also placed surveillance on your meetings with him. Every manipulation, every promise of dark power, every attempt to turn a young Jedi toward the Sith, all recorded.
Preposterous. I am the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic.
Then you won't mind proving it.
Without warning, Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber and lunges forward in a testing strike. The attack isn't meant to kill, but to force a reaction. Palpatine's response is instinctive and revealing. Force lightning erupts from his fingertips, catching Obi-Wan's blade and sending crackling energy throughout the chamber.
Very clever of you, Master Kenobi, but I must thank you. You've made it easy for me. Finally, no more pretense. I am Darth Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith, and I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head.
The transformation is complete. His yellow eyes burn with Sith fury as he draws a hidden lightsaber from his robes. The red blade ignites with a snap hiss that echoes through the chamber. Palpatine moves with speed that defies his apparent age, striking at Obi-Wan with decades of accumulated hatred. Windu joins the battle immediately, his purple blade weaving defensive patterns as the two Jedi Masters coordinate their assault. Palpatine fights with the fury of the truly desperate, knowing that his carefully laid plans are crumbling around him. The battle is brief but intense. Palpatine's power is immense, but he cannot overcome two skilled masters working in perfect harmony. Obi-Wan's precise strikes combine with Master Windu's aggressive assaults to overwhelm the Sith Lord's defenses. The end comes when Windu's blade finds Palpatine's heart, while Obi-Wan's removes his head. The Emperor's body crumples to the floor, finally still after decades of manipulation and murder. In the medical center across the city, Anakin holds his newborn children, while Padme recovers from a difficult but stressful delivery. Luke and Leia sleep peacefully in their father's arms, unaware that their existence has helped save the galaxy from eternal darkness. The Senate emergency session convenes within hours of Palpatine's death. Many corrupt senators flee Coruscant upon hearing the Sith Lord's exposure, while others protest the Jedi's actions as treason. Windu presents holographic evidence, recorded conversations between Palpatine and Anakin revealing the Chancellor's true identity and manipulations. The Sith Lord's own words provide undeniable proof. The vote proceeds swiftly, naming Bail Organa as acting Chancellor to restore legitimate democratic government. 3 months later, Anakin tends to Luke and Leia in their Naboo villa garden. No longer a Jedi, but having found something more precious. Padme joins him, radiating peaceful contentment. The Republic Senate has approved Jedi Code reforms allowing attachments. The Skywalker family embodies the galaxy's new hope, proof that choosing trust over fear can save everything. As the sun sets over Naboo's peaceful waters, the Skywalker family sits together in the garden, surrounded by the quiet contentment of a galaxy finally learning to heal. The Empire will never rise, the Jedi will rebuild with wisdom instead of rigid dogma, and the Force has found its balance not through prophecy or power, but through the simple courage to choose love over fear. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you'd like to join us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.